Okay, everyone, we have not forgotten about the Coca-Cola Oreos.
No, and one of us has done their homework.
You have done your homework. You have it in front of you. I have attempted.
I have both components.
I have attempted to acquire both components. I have been to at least 3 stores looking for these Oreos and this Coca-Cola, this Coke Zero, and none of them have had it.
Wow.
All of them, so I've been to a Target, I've been to a Walmart, and I've been to a Sheetz. Apparently Sheetz doesn't carry it. So, okay, fine, whatever.
Fine.
I just tried that because I was, whatever. But I specifically went to the Target looking for this stuff and walked out with nothing because it was the only thing I was there for. And they were like, there's like, I'm sorry, we don't have any here. Would you like me to check the other nearby stores? And I was like, no.
Oh man, where's your dedication? You should have made them call all the Targets in a 100-mile radius.
I can do that online myself. I'm not going to make them do it. At that point, though, I was like, I'll just order it online because you could order it online. And I was like, if I can't have it for today's recording, I can't get it. Mm-hmm. So I will order it online and it will be here by the next show. As soon as we're done recording today, I'm going to go online and order it so that it's here. But I've tried to find this stuff.
I found out the day after we talked about it the first time that like 2 days ago in my office when I wasn't there, somebody had brought in a pack of the Oreos and was like walking them around the office being like, here, try these, please eat them. And so like some people I know had tried them and I still haven't tried them yet because I wasn't there for that. And then I haven't opened the ones that I have. So I like the suspense is killing me. Like, cause I've gotten some descriptions from some people. Like I've heard like what it's like. And, I will confess I have tried the Coke Zero. I did try the drink, just because I was able to get those like day of after we talked about it. But I have not tried the cookies yet. So
I've heard things about the cookies that make me very nervous about them.
Yeah, me too. But we'll see.
But I'm just holding out. I promise I will have them for next episode.
Okay. Well, there's no risk of them getting eaten in my house because my wife keeps looking at them and she likes Oreos quite a bit, but she really hates Coca-Cola. So these Oreos that say like Oreo Coca-Cola, she will not touch them like at all. She bought them for me, but she will not touch them.
I heard they taste surprisingly like Coca-Cola.
The thing that I have heard that's the most interesting feature is the Pop Rocks in the cream.
That's what I've heard too, and I'm really nervous about that. Yep.
Yeah, so that should be interesting because I don't know. Did you ever have you probably didn't, but I have a friend who was suckered into buying a Taco Bell birthday slushy thing or something. We were at a Taco Bell at like lunch for work one time, and on the little kiosk that you could order at Taco Bell, which was the first time we had seen a kiosk at Taco Bell, it popped up a thing. It was like, oh, would you like to add? Like McDonald's does that with their little kiosks, but like theirs are kind of lame. This did like a full screen takeover with like little confetti, like little like fireworks of like the Baja Blast freeze or whatever, and it had actual nerds. I think it was. I don't think it was actually Pop Rocks, but it was like they put nerds in a frozen drink, which turn into little teeth-destroying rocks.
Yeah.
When you freeze them. So he got suckered into paying, I don't know, $6 for this novelty slushy thing from Taco Bell of all places. And he did not enjoy it.
I can't imagine.
So this reminds me of that, just like super gimmicky, weird branded food. So I'm very excited for our tasting experience.
Everyone I've talked to, though, says it's actually kind of good.
Oh.
So I don't know. We'll see.
All right. Well, more to come. By the next episode, Jason will have these, and if not, I'm eating them.
Fair. By the next episode.
Then it will have been 6 weeks since I got these things.
Yeah. That's fair. Welcome to Pride and Accomplishment. My name is Jason.
And I'm Chris. This is episode 138.
Chris, I want to start with some validation. Quick follow-up. There's not a whole lot to talk about here because you've already said it a million times. But when I was looking for these Oreos, I did happen to go on a retail store journey.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not saying I went to Best Buy to look for these Oreos, but we were going to Best Buy as well. I don't normally go to brick and mortar stores anymore, but I Target, Walmart, Best Buy. We were just, we were hitting them all. So we went to Best Buy. And I did my usual like lap around, right? You gotta go look at all TVs. You gotta look at. We found some really good, cool washer and dryer combos in one.
Oh.
And I think we sent a picture of that to the group where it's like you put it in and it says 2-in-1, and it says in 2 hours your clothes will be able to be washed and dried, which was really cool. But not the point of my story. The point of my story is to say I finally got to see a Switch and a Switch OLED side by side, and let me just say, I understand your love for the OLED now, because that thing is incredible when they are side by side.
Mm-hmm. Yes. When they're side by side, it is night and day.
I really hope that when the Switch 2 finally comes out, they release an OLED right at the beginning. I agree with you that they probably won't because they like money, but it's just so much better.
It's so much better, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again, and I'm still going to probably be lying, but it's so much better that I almost want to just completely wait on the Switch 2 and not even touch it until there's an OLED available. Like, even if it takes 2 years, like, just hold off, don't buy it, wait for the OLED, because there's going to be one, and then get the OLED as a one and done.
I think it will depend heavily on the launch titles for the Switch 2.
That's true.
If they're very compelling and they're not backwards compatible to the Switch 1, which they may not be, which is, whatever, I think that will be more enticing. However, I don't know. I don't know how strong the lineup was for the Switch 1 other than Zelda, and I don't see another Zelda like imminently on the horizon. So it depends. Like maybe it's there. I don't know enough about it. I don't follow it as closely as you do. But I think if the launch lineup is not that super strong, you may have an okay time holding out.
Yeah, especially depending on what else is going on and how busy I am with other stuff. Like it could, like as it is, I don't play the Switch all that often. I mean, a Zelda game just came out for the Switch like 3 weeks ago. Like the
right.
Echoes of Wisdom came out. I did actually, we didn't talk about it on the show, but I did buy the Nintendo Switch Online voucher thing again and picked that game up. And then I have one other voucher that I'm kind of waiting to see if I want to go Mario Party or something else in the next couple months for my second choice. But I got that new Zelda game and I haven't really played it like at all yet. So I've got plenty of backlog. Like that's the other one is Paper Mario. Thousand Year Door, like the original Paper Mario came out over the summer, and I still have Super Mario RPG from a year ago that I'm still very, very slowly working my way through on the Switch. So my backlog of Switch things is big enough that I can probably tide myself over for like a year, because it's not like I'm buying multiplayer games to play on the Switch. Like the Switch is a single player game experience for me because their online is so bad. So like it doesn't matter when you get to the games in the end. And they never go on sale anyway. Like all the first party good Nintendo games never go on sale. So you can just wait.
Well, then wait, because I will be waiting too. I probably will pick up a Switch 2 at some point. And if you wait for the OLED, then I'm certainly waiting for it too, because I've never had an OLED device. I don't have a Steam Deck OLED. I don't have a Switch OLED. I don't even have a TV that's an OLED in my house. And
you're missing out.
Let me tell you, when I was at Best Buy, I saw some OLED gaming monitors, and oh my gosh, those might be going on the Christmas list because those were so amazing.
Yeah, there's a whole subreddit, OLED gaming, that I get recommended to me occasionally, and it's people that are basically just saying, "Oh my gosh, I just got an OLED, monitor, and it's amazing. How did I live all my life without this?" And it is. I have to continually remind myself that I have 3 perfectly good high refresh rate gaming monitors that the panels are okay. But they're not OLED. So then you see the people with the 65-inch ultra wide, which is like the size of my 3 monitors, and it's OLED, and you're like, oh my gosh, that looks so good. But I'm holding strong on that one. That's much less of a big deal to me. I feel like OLED PC monitor is not as interesting to me as OLED TV or OLED handheld.
I'm always pushed away by the price.
Yes, they're so expensive.
I don't know that I need to spend $1,000 on a PC monitor, especially when I want 3 of them. I want them all to match. However, I did see some really big curved ones, and I have not liked curved ones in the past, but I'm falling out of love with my vertical monitors currently, actually. Oh. At least the one in my gaming computer. I have a vertical on my left and 2 horizontal, middle and right. And I'm kind of falling out of love with the vertical ones. So I might try a curved one again. I don't know. I don't know. But I will tell you, my next monitors for my computer will be OLED. And my next TV, whatever it is, will be OLED because it's just so, it's beautiful. It's so pretty.
They're so good.
And I just haven't had the need to purchase one in a very long time. And the prices are coming down. They're definitely coming down. I don't know that they've cratered yet, but it's not like they're not like premium priced anymore. They're like normal, what I would consider like quality TV priced now.
Yeah, I've had an OLED TV for 2 or 3 years as my main TV, and it is so nice.
Anyway, I'm sold. OLED Switch, OLED Steam Deck, OLED monitors, OLED TV. I'll get there. I'm there.
I have a piece of follow-up since last we talked, in that I have beaten the final boss of Astrobot, which we talked about last time.
Oh, excellent.
And that is a good game.
That's a great game.
Yeah. I'm still about 30 bots from the end, so I'm not like 300 of 300, but I'm close.
So you hadn't been like 100%ing levels as you went through?
No, I did. I hadn't been doing all of the extra stuff that you unlock as I unlocked it, I'll say.
Okay. So you have entirely uncompleted levels.
Correct. Yes. Every time I started a level, I would finish it and little gold crown it, but I haven't started all of the levels yet.
Wow. Okay. That did you start to understand what I meant about like you start to get worried that the payoff wasn't going to be there?
I don't know. I was trying to think like, is this what he was talking about? Is this what he was talking about? Like as I was going through different parts, and I could see where you could get that way in the beginning, but then I feel like the back half kind of delivered what I expected, remembering Astro's Playroom.
Okay. All right. Maybe I don't remember Astro's Playroom as well, but I started to really drag near the back half until the final experience.
Okay.
So
no, I think it was really good. I found that the pace was good. There weren't too many levels that I didn't like. There were some of the challenge levels that were annoying.
Yeah, some of them were tough.
I have a couple of mechanics I really don't like, but that is, I think, a sign of a good game when you can point at the things you don't like definitively, and there aren't too many of those, and like they're not overpowering.
Certain power ups.
Yeah, and I feel like, I mean, I don't know how spoilery, quote unquote, we want to get into, but like I'll just say the one like power up that I didn't like was the where you're anywhere where there's lots of fire and you have to make it into a walkway using water.
Oh, water. So that challenge level was tough for you then.
I did not enjoy that very much at all.
Yeah. That one probably took me an hour.
Yeah, it was just not fun.
My least favorite power up was the one where you suck up liquid and then can shoot it back out. I did not care for that one.
Oh, I feel like I thought that one was actually kind of clever. I liked that one.
Yeah, didn't care for that one. We should. So now that you've completed it, should we do an actual full spoiler episode at some point?
Yeah, I mean, we can put it on
15-minute bonus episode.
Yeah. I think that'd be good.
We just got done talking about OLEDs. Did you play this on your OLED TV?
I did play this on my OLED TV mostly, but I also have been dabbling in some other modes. But to say one thing about the OLED TV, it looks great on the OLED TV. Like that art style, like that, everything is kind of super high poly looking, like well textured, but not overly realistic. So it looks like a toy and it looks really good. That all was delivered excellently and it looks really good on the OLED. And there's a lot of like space kind of stuff too. Like some of the menus and stuff are more like space themed. So like those are really, they pop nicely on the OLED.
Yeah, I imagine this game looks excellent on an OLED.
But it also looks great on an OLED screen of a phone, because I have been experimenting with this with my Backbone and with PlayStation Remote Play streaming.
So you're using the PlayStation app on your iPhone to stream your PlayStation to your phone?
Correct. Yeah. So basically the Backbone, I think we talked about it before, but it's like the little controller thingy that it plugs in the USB-C port on my phone, and then it has PlayStation buttons on it. Like it has the little circle, triangle, X, square buttons on it, and two kind of wimpy joysticks and no rumble. But then you use the PS Remote Play app, which you can get on the App Store, to stream from the PlayStation. So the PlayStation is doing all the rendering, but then the phone is just doing, game streaming basically.
And that worked well?
It worked actually really well. Like it really didn't have any lag. Like I could put AirPods in and like listen to the game. Like it worked fine. Like again, on my home network, my PS5 is wired and my phone is wireless. So it worked fine. It didn't really lag at all. So that was good.
Did you find it frustrating, or how did it work with a non-PlayStation controller? Because that was my one thing when you had mentioned Backbone in the past, was like, I was like, hey, like most of the fun or half of the fun of Astrobot is playing with a PlayStation 5 controller, like that, the DualSense controller. Did you find that it was difficult, or that certain things didn't work, or like did it all just flow nicely? Or
I found that it worked okay. I mean, the sticks on the Backbone are like a third of the height of the sticks on a regular controller, so they don't have as much like travel to them. You know what I mean? Like the sticks on the Steam Deck are like normal, Xbox controller sticks, but the sticks on the Backbone are like lower profile because it's supposed to be portable. So they're actually closer to like Joy-Con on the Switch, like the Switch Joy-Con controller, little handheldy things. It's that kind of experience for your phone. And those were a little bit annoying just because they're not the same. There is a couple of things that you have to do to accommodate the fact that you're not using an actual PlayStation controller and that you're doing streaming. One of them is it does not use the gyro in your phone as a gyro for the controller, which is a missed opportunity because the phone could do it. But when you're streaming, you don't have any of the motion controls. So you have to go into the options and do the thing where you can turn off the motion controls and have it make the left stick into whatever the motion control would control, which is actually kind of nice in some cases in the actual game too, because I found some of the motion controls to be a little fiddly sometimes.
I agree. Yeah.
So I had to discover this accessibility thing, and then I did use it for a couple of the more fiddly pieces in the actual game when I was playing on the TV too. And then there's also no rumble on the Backbone. Again, even though they probably could emulate something through the phone, I don't know, it'd probably kill your battery. But so there is an option to anything that would be noted by haptics, you can have it show a visual instead, or in addition to.
Oh, that's cool. I hadn't thought of that. That's a good that's a decent alternative.
Yeah, it makes it like super easy mode, right? If you have something where it was like, oh, detect this by when the controller rumbles, instead like the whole thing like glows, so it's really obvious to know what you're supposed to do. But that's actually kind of nice too when you're like, oh, is that a rumble? I don't know, I can't tell. So there are a couple of nice accessibility things in the game that they've obviously put in for either for the streaming case or for genuine people that need the help, and that's great. Like that would make it easy to play for like kids and stuff. I think that would be really good. More recently, I've also tried playing PlayStation streaming on my Steam Deck, which I tried about a year ago, and I don't remember if we talked about it or not, but now there's a new version of Chiaki, Chiaki, the streaming app for the Steam Deck that hooks up through the same protocol. It uses the PlayStation, same thing that the phone app does, but it's like a standalone thing for Windows, Mac, and Steam Deck. Even though there's a Windows app too, there's a PS Remote Play Windows app as well. But that thing, it can turn your Steam Deck into a remote play thing and actually like install the right controller profile and all of that. So it actually works better with the streaming. Looks closer to a DualSense, but no rumble still.
Interesting. Okay, so is this is that a PlayStation sanctioned app, or what's going on there?
No, it's an open source thing. It's just like somebody's GitHub like has this thing, and you can install it, and it uses something. You have to like log into. You have to do some weird little login dance where you log into your Sony account, like your PlayStation account, and then you paste in the redirect URL to Jackie, and then it does something to get a token. Yeah. And then it keeps the token, and then you also have to have a pin from your console. So it's like, there's a few steps to kind of get them hooked up. But after that, though, I turn on this thing on my Steam Deck, and it's like, your PS5 is sleeping. You want to wake it up? And like I can do all the things.
Wow.
Like, it's really cool.
And that worked well too?
It did work well. I felt like it was maybe a little bit laggier, and I can't tell if that's the Steam Deck or like the network connection of the Steam Deck, or if it's this app. But it looks like it was kind of going at a 30 frames per second. Like it was probably less latency, but the frame rate seemed lower. Is kind of what it felt like.
Okay.
And of course, my Steam Deck is not OLED, so it looks less good on the Steam Deck screen. But that's a me problem. It does have a network diagnostic thing, and it tells me that it's using about 20 megabits per second for that stream.
Oh wow! I mean, yeah, okay, that's uncompressed video. That's a lot,
and that's for a 720p stream.
Yeah, wow. I'm thinking now, I think an OLED. I mean, I think an iPad in bed with like a wireless controller would be really cool.
I think you could do that.
Yeah,
you can pair a PS5 controller to an iPad with Bluetooth now.
I wonder if all of the extra stuff would work.
I don't know. I will have to try that. I could try that and get back to you. I have an OLED iPad, continuing my OLED screen journey.
I'm just thinking a little bit of like, I don't know that I would like to play on my iPhone. I don't know. I have trouble with stuff that small and seeing the game and all that. But like an iPad kind of sitting up in bed with a disconnected controller. I like the disconnected controller feel. I don't like this screen and the controller to be connected. But I could see myself doing that.
I think the kind of final form for that everybody talks about is like glasses. So they sell these like glasses with screens on them, so you can, I guess you would hook it up to your phone or your iPad, it really wouldn't matter. And then you can just like lay in bed with the glasses on with the controller in your hand, but you're laying down and just looking at the ceiling through these glasses. And the glasses are like VR. I mean, you can't see through them. Like they're just screens. Or you could get an Apple Vision Pro, just go all in.
Well, or a MetaQuest 3 or whatever.
Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's I don't know if I'm there yet.
Just strap into the Matrix, go to bed.
But I could see myself there someday.
The one thing that all of this streaming has tempted me for that I have not done anything about is the PlayStation Portal, which is the silliest peripheral that Sony's ever made. Well, maybe not. That's probably not true. But it's the dedicated game streaming thing that Sony made for PS5 specifically. That is essentially a DualSense controller split in half with a screen in the middle. And it's a pretty good looking screen, but it's not an OLED. But I believe it has all of the rumble and such that the DualSense has. So, and like the triggers and all that stuff. So it would scratch that itch. But it's also $200, and it's a single purpose device. And last I checked, it didn't work online, although I think maybe that's changed. I don't know. Like if you're out of your house, you can't use it.
I think it's changed. I don't know that it's recommended.
No, I don't think it's good, but I think it's changed. So I, briefly investigated what that would take, and $200, it's way too expensive.
You might find it on sale someday.
If somebody like on, eBay or Facebook Marketplace or something was like, here's a PlayStation Portal for $50, I'd probably do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or like make it the same cost as a controller, $70, like whatever. Like I'd probably go for that.
Okay, so you've beaten the game. You have 35 bots to go. Do you expect that you will finish it? Do you expect you'll? So last time we talked about that I finished it, but did not plan on platinum trophying it. Did you investigate the trophies at all, or did you plan on platinum trophying the game?
I need to check because I did see something after I beat the final boss, and I was like, "Uh-oh, are they going to trophy this?" And if they are, then I'm gonna bow out of the platinum trophy chase. I have done a couple of things. I've gotten a bunch of trophies, and I've gotten a few. Like I've gone back and gotten a few things that are like for the trophies essentially. And I don't know. I'm like maybe halfway through the trophies, something like that.
Okay. I encourage you to get all of the puzzle pieces. I encourage you to get all 300 bots. There's stuff that is worth seeing does unlock at those levels. So do it, and you won't be disappointed.
Okay, it looks like from a quick search, I could probably attain a platinum trophy here. Looks doable for me. If it was going to be one of those things where it's like New Game Plus, where you have to like complete the whole game on the mega hardest difficulty, I always opt out of those.
No, I'm pretty sure you can do it one playthrough, one save file.
Okay. I mean, this game isn't the kind of game that has a New Game Plus. I
was going to say this wouldn't do that. I have been playing my PlayStation 5 as well.
Oh,
even though I've finished Astrobot, I probably made a mistake, but I played another couple hours of God of War Ragnarok the other day.
I mean, that in itself is not a mistake.
No, but Factorio comes out, or by the time this is launched, Factorio has come out. So maybe picking back up a single player game at this point was a mistake. But let me talk to you a little bit about God of War Ragnarok, because I have a really like weird relationship with the game right now. And I'm curious what you think of it. I played for another couple of hours. I am probably 5-ish hours in. I've been to like 2 places on the World Tree door thing.
Okay.
And I am not engrossed in it. Like I feel myself like criticizing the plot a little bit and like kind of rolling my eyes a little bit and like just not super into it. But at the same time, I want to keep playing it. So I have this weird relationship with it right now where I'm just like, I'm not into the story as much as I was in the first one, at least not at this point in the story. But at the same time, like, I want to come back to it. Was there a lull? Did you ever feel this while playing it? Is this one of those things where you're just like, you got to get through it, or you got to play more regularly, or I don't know what's going on right now.
I think there's a couple of things, and I agree that it is not as compelling as the first one. Like it doesn't suck you in and make you want to finish the whole game in a week like you did with the first one. And I echo that. Like that happened for me too. But it gets better in the back half, like, or at least it did for me. Like I cared a lot more about all of the things going on and getting through the story in the back half because of all of the like dynamics and all that stuff. I actually didn't love the just before the ending of the first game, not the ending, but like shortly before the ending of the first game, I actually didn't like all that much.
I think the first game's past its spoiler limit. So what do you remember which part?
The part where Freya and her son, and you have to fight him, and she gets all mad about it. And I mean, she's mad about it for like the whole second game too. But like, I didn't like that. I didn't care. Like, it didn't bother me. I didn't know who that guy was. Like, he was just another boss guy to fight. Like, it wasn't. Yeah, I didn't care.
He in the first game was, like just a guy in your way. I felt
exactly like I didn't know him. I didn't like he didn't antagonize me much. Like he was just in my way.
Right. I agree.
She was all up in arms about it because it was her son, which I get. But like, the emotional attachment there, and then the fact that she is so mopey about it in the second game, which is not really a spoiler because she's mopey about it from like
she's mopey about it. Yeah.
Like. The fact that she's still hung up on it, which I mean, fine, it's her son, I get it, but like these people are all immortal gods or whatever, they live forever and whatever. I just didn't care for that part of that whole thing, but then later on it gets better.
There's some points like listen, I know that they were trying to do something cool where you're playing as the boy and not you don't have dad around. And I like during the first time that happens, I'm just like, no, I'm not into this. I'm not. I don't know if it happens again, but it's happened at least once for me. Again, I think Ragnarok is probably also past its spoiler point. But you play as the boy for some of the, at least one of segments of time. And I just, you go out to do something on your own, and it's super dangerous and it's super stupid. And I'm just like, and he literally says as a voice line, I'm going to get myself killed. Then why are you doing it? Like, what, how are you defending this in the story? Like, I was really not into it.
There's a chance that
really
you and I
took me
are too far removed from adolescent boy time to understand like self-preservation and, you know, good decision-making developments. I don't know. I'm with you. I mean, yes, it was very stupid, and he did say that, and that did feel like kind of a something he's saying for the gamer's benefit, but like an adolescent boy making stupid decisions is not groundbreaking.
Sure, fine. Okay. Take that out of it then. I didn't enjoy the gameplay either.
Fair.
I didn't enjoy it. Like, I want to be the God of War. Like, that's who that's the name on the box. That's what I want.
Well, that's true. Well, yeah, that happens a little bit more, but I think that it has more story value as it goes. A little bit more. Like, I think it gets better. Like that, the first time is not smart. But there are other times when it makes more sense or does a little better.
I also feel like I'm on a MacGuffin chase. I hope that will change.
I'm trying to remember which MacGuffin you're even looking for at that point.
We just, and again, there's really no spoilers here. We just went to, what is it? Alfheim? Where the light and the dark elves are fighting again.
Okay. Yes. All right.
Not a spoiler. Happens in the first game. And you go and you're just like looking for another like painting, right? Where you step into and you see like the prophecy. And that's it. Like that's all you're there for, is to see it. And then you leave. You're like, peace. I'm gone. Thanks. And I'm just like, why? First of all, why are we here? Second of all, what is going on? And third, like, what are we chasing? What's next? And this tier guy, I don't know. He's a whiny baby. And I don't know. I need to get over the hump in this game. Like, I'm sure there's a plot like point where I'm just going to be like, okay.
Yes, it will. You gotta keep going a little bit. I didn't like that elf place, the elf desert. Not a huge fan, but it gets better. It does get better, and the narrative gets more narrative-y. And you get some cool stuff. And yes, you get some good character development. Like it gets better. It gets better. It starts off rough.
I have heard wonderful things about this game. I have heard excellent, amazing things about this game and the story. I know I am years behind schedule.
It's only 2 years old. I just looked it up. It's only 2 years old. Okay.
Well, I'm 2 years behind schedule. Every time I pick it up, I am struggling to keep with it. This time I played it. I really was not engrossed in the story. I will take that advice and say I just need to get through it and get to the part that it gets good. I am enjoying the God of War gameplay. I do like when I get to play as Kratos, and I do like the game. And I have found myself wanting to come back to it more aggressively now when I'm playing as him. So,
okay. Yeah, we can after this we should talk a little bit more like in detail about it. Because I'm curious exactly where you are, and we can talk about it a little bit more.
Anyway, that's my update. I'm playing God of War Ragnarok. Probably a bad idea, because by the time you hear this, I'm not playing God of War Ragnarok anymore. I'm playing Factorio. But I will be going back. I'm playing my PS5 more. I really is the update.
That's good, yeah.
And it's all thanks to Astrobot.
Yeah, I was going to say, Astrobot for me had a lot of like good memories of PlayStation days gone by. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of little cameos and things. And I was like, man, I want to go play Uncharted again. I don't really, but kind of do want to play Horizon Zero Dawn again.
Yeah.
Like whatever.
I never finished the first one. I don't know if you've played them.
I played both Horizon games.
I have not finished either of them. I finished them both. Never touched the second one, and I've never played the first.
I mean, even Crash Bandicoot. You see the little thing in Spyro. You're like, oh my gosh, these are all like great franchises from PlayStation. So it gave me good vibes for like, sitting on a couch in front of a TV playing PlayStation from like over the course of 30 years.
Yeah. Astrobot did that for sure.
So we've been waiting anxiously for Factorio to come out. And as we mentioned several times, by the time you hear this, it's been out and we've played it for sure. But where we sit right now, it's been an excruciating wait for for Factorio to come out, right? And
excruciating is such a good word because here's why. Factorio is one of those games, at least for you, or at least for me, and I think for you, where you can play a lot of it and get burnt out on it. You and I can get burnt out on it. Some people don't. Some people play for thousands of hours and never get burnt out on it. But I know me, and I think we can get burnt out on it. So while we have been waiting for this expansion, it has been like I've wanted to play Factorio so bad. Even if it's not the expansion, I just wanted to play base vanilla Factorio again. But it is excruciating because I know if I play it, I will burn out on it before the expansion comes out.
And you don't want that.
And I don't want that.
Yeah. So in the meantime, and we're going to talk a little bit more about Factorio in a second, but this is yet another diversion from Factorio. Which is I have discovered Steam Next Fest October edition. They did this in the early summer, and now they're doing it again, where it's basically just an excuse to have a whole bunch of demos on Steam for a limited time. And I've actually found a couple of games that I'm not like gonna go buy immediately, but are on my wish list now.
Okay. So it's a distraction for now.
Precisely. Yes, it is this is the right bite-sized thing that's going to disappear in a week and a half when Factorio comes out anyway. So it's not like I'm going to be like, oh, I bought this thing and now I can't play it. There were a couple of things where I was like, oh, I could buy this little small game and like play it a little bit until Factorio comes out. I was like, nope, don't do it. I went back to Astrobot. That was a good diversion. But I did discover a couple of things that I think I already had on my wish list, and they're like, hey, there's demos now. I was like, oh, neat. So the first of those is Unrailed 2, Back on Track, which we got Unrailed in a humble choice a couple years ago, or several months ago. I don't know when. And it was pretty fun to play as a little co-op, chaos simulator. And now there's a second one, which I didn't really think about there being a second one, but now there is.
Yeah, this is fun. It's like a roguelike game where you have to build track for a train to travel through an environment, a level, and like Chris, chaos. You have to make sure you don't build track into dead ends. You have to make sure that you collect the right amount of resources before the train hits the end of the track, because you're building the track as the train is moving. And it was fun. I remember this being stressful, and
yes.
I also remember us not being particularly good at it.
We were not terrible at it, but we were, I feel like it didn't have a lot of depth. I think that was also part of it, was like we kind of understood the loop and kind of did what there was to do. And then kind of, it was hard and also, stressful. So we
it was
put it down.
Really hard.
Yes. So this one, and maybe I just haven't gotten far enough along in it, like in the demo or whatever, but I was playing by myself with an AI companion, right? Because you can actually have an AI player if you're playing solo, which actually makes it a little easy, because you can just say like, go chop the trees. And it's like, okay, I've chopped every single tree on the screen automatically and perfectly because I'm an AI. You're like, oh, okay, great. Thanks. Now put them all in the train, please. And it just does it. So like, I mean, it's not quite that easy, but like it is very nice to be able to just like give an instruction and like the thing just does it. But they have added now a bunch of like, I want to say like RPG-ish kinds of things to it. Like there's a bunch of like extra layers to the in-between levels and kind of the meta stuff. You can pick up like, yeah, there's currency, there's quests, it's a little bit deeper.
That's kind of nice because I do remember it having a very shallow meta game, and that was frustrating because we wanted to get better and get further, but I don't remember there being a way for us to make the game easier the more we played. Like that is a core element of a rogue light, right? And for people that maybe not as good at games or need a little extra help or, don't have as much time to dedicate to getting really good at a game, we need those elements. And I feel like Unrailed 1 was missing those. So that's really nice to hear.
Yeah, I mean, they added some stuff. They added like player traits, basically, like where you can have like you power up your person. I mean, it's kind of for the run, but then there's ways to like start a run with power-ups as well. Once you have them unlocked and stuff. So like I had one that like let me, I don't know, when I chopped down a tree, it gave me a chance to like 15% chance to take a swing at an adjacent tree. Like,
okay.
It's like, okay, that makes me slightly more powerful. Looking at the video on the Steam page, there is a ton of other stuff you can do. I mean, you can like throw stuff, you can like build little belts. I mean, there's magnets, there's a lot of stuff.
Belts.
Yeah. Just to bring it back to Factorio.
I did see belts. Yeah.
So there's a lot more to it. It looks like, and I'm intrigued by this. Like I said, don't think I'm going to buy it, but if it comes to another Humble bundle at some point, I will definitely be installing it like pretty quick.
Okay. All right. This one comes out in early access on November 7th, I believe.
Yeah. Not too long. Yeah.
Yep.
The other game that I just stumbled upon when I was looking at the page of demos, which was not already on my wish list, but now it is this game called Cats and Dice, which you can probably guess from the name is a Balatro-like casino-ish game, but this time it uses dice.
This looks, you say Balatro-like. I don't think it can be any more Balatro-like by the look of the trailer.
That's true. It's definitely like a quick clone, maybe is a good word for it, but like it's slightly different enough that it is a different thing. It's basically 6-die Yahtzee. Which Yahtzees usually play with 5 dice, but like this is 6 dice that you roll and then you make pairs and 3s and 4s and 5s and 6s of a kind, or straights basically. And it has, the gimmick is that instead of jokers from Balatro, it uses cats, like those little like lucky cat things with the waving arm that you see sometimes in stores. It uses those and they're all themed and they have different ones and they can do different things and they do plus multipliers and times multipliers and plus points and whatever. So it's very Balatro-like, yes. But there's some interesting dynamics of like, hey, this makes the die that comes from this slot, like it makes my die that I have here be, a bonus when it rolls a 2 or 4, like, or whatever. So like it's a little different than like modifying your deck of cards to play 5-card poker, but it is still very, very, very heavily inspired by Balatro.
I haven't gotten the blackjack one yet. What is it?
Dungeons and Degenerate Gamblers.
Yeah, it's got a really long name. I could never remember it. That would probably be my next purchase, but this one obviously not out yet. I don't know that Yahtzee does it for me. I don't know that dice do it for me.
Yeah, this one, I mean, it feels more like Balatro, and I understand the mechanics of it better because I'm not a very good blackjack player, I think. So I actually think I like this one better, and I did buy the blackjack one. And I played it a little bit, and they did a big patch since then, and it's been fine. But yeah, I kind of like this one a little bit more because it's closer to Balatro itself.
I'm surprised. I'm going to throw a curveball at you. I'm surprised. I'm now looking through the list as well, that a game called Tower Factory didn't make your list.
Oh, well, that's just because I didn't see it. So, yeah, I'm gonna look at that right now.
It is a Factorio belt-driven factory game plus tower defense game.
Oh my.
It is, you know how there's certain games that are just they just target me, and it feels like they say, what can we get Jason to buy? I feel like someone said, I need to build a game that Chris will just buy.
Yes, that is what happened here. They definitely looked at my like time played and such and built this game for me.
It does have a demo. I'm giving you homework.
No, but see, Jason, this worked until we are now like less than 12 hours away from the release of Factorio expansion.
What are you doing tonight? You could have a little warm up for Factorio.
Okay. All right. After this, I will get the demo. I will play it for like 30 minutes and then I will sleep for Factorio.
There you go.
Well, good find. That's fun.
No, this is fun. I always like Steam Next Fest. I always find games to add to my wish list from it. I am going to go through here and add a couple. I do see also Temtem Swarm, which is another Pokemon ripoff, but this is
Vampire Survivors Temtem.
Vampire Survivors, yeah. Which looks very fun. But I see a lot of games in here that I will probably add to my wish list. I like games that aren't out yet are not anything like I don't cleanse them from my wish list aggressively if they are not out yet. So I always do like the Next Fest to add some more stuff.
Okay, I think it's time to actually talk about Factorio for a minute without having played the expansion.
Okay.
So I know we've talked about this a little bit, but we've also been kind of dancing around, and you said you didn't want to do anything with spoilers, but I know that you have been reading all of the Factorio Friday Facts, which is like their little blog post that they do every week on Fridays.
I have, yes.
So I wanted to ask you what you're most excited about based on just what you know from the Factorio Friday Facts. Like, what are you looking forward to the most in this expansion?
Is this really a question?
Yeah.
There's an obvious answer.
Okay. There's a couple things I can think of that you're about to say.
Literally a world, Chris, where trains are required.
Okay. All right. I see.
Like, they built an entire mechanic of elevated rails because there is a planet where trains are required.
Yeah, I was expecting you to say elevated rails and train stuff.
Elevated rails, trains, absolutely. There's I am also, this is maybe not what you expected. There's a massive improvement to the circuit logic.
Oh, yeah.
Including train stuff. I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited about the change in fluid dynamics or fluid stuff.
I am so confused by that, but I'm excited to see it.
They have simplified it dramatically.
Okay,
it now operates as you would expect it to. Things need a pump every now and then, and they fill kind of uniformly across everything. It just makes it so much easier to understand and make sure that, yeah. And the last but not least, I don't know how you feel about this, but I'm interested and curious, and maybe not excited, but curious is a good word, to attempt a run with enemies, because they've done a lot of work with the enemies. And I feel like it would be a disservice to the expansion to play with them disabled. I would love to see someone's review of playing them in peaceful mode, which means they never attack you. You have to attack them, and then they become aggressive.
Right.
But those are probably the top 4 for me. But I do want to try maybe from the beginning playing with enemies enabled.
Yeah, I mean, I've done that, I think, once in base Factorio, and it was okay. Like, it turned out better than I had worried about, and that was after I had played Factorio a bunch. Right, originally you kind of get your stuff messed up by the enemies, and then it's very, very difficult to recover, like the first time that you're playing when you don't know what you're doing. But when you can prepare a little bit for it, and you kind of get ready, and you have your have your infrastructure set up to be able to make turrets and make bullets for the turrets and do all the management that you kind of need to be ready for, it's not as bad as it is when you have just started playing Factorio and you're like, wait, all I wanted to do was build belts and inserters. I think I'm with you.
I will also tell you, with enemies, I have watched a lot of streamers play Factorio, particularly a lot of streamers that are not familiar with Factorio. Maybe not a lot. I've watched a couple streamers play Factorio that are not familiar with Factorio, and they always play with enemies on. But they also are much more willing to load a save.
Oh,
and just be like, I got attacked. Obviously, I wasn't ready. I don't want this to ruin the entire game. I'm gonna reload. And I'm just gonna be okay with it. And I think I've become more okay with it now. So like, because remember the enemies are deterministic. They attack in a like they build up and then they attack based on pollution, and like it's all, none of it's random, right? It's all kind of deterministic, which means you should, if you know the game well enough, be able to plan for it.
Right.
It's never going to throw something at you that's super random. So I feel like reloading a save is not so much like, oh, I want a different seed, I want it to be differently random. No, it's, oh, I missed that because I don't know the game well enough. I'm going to reload and re-experience that with the knowledge now I've learned. So that's how I've become more okay with it, with like reloading a save and prepping. And with that in mind, like I think I can do enemies on and go with that. The problem with enemies, the problem, Chris, is it slows down the advance of the game. Like it slows down your progress. So it's I don't know, it's a give and take there a little bit for me.
Yeah. It's tough because you want to play the game as it's built, and then you also though want to build the biggest factory as fast as you can. So it's at odds, but I think I'm with you. I think it would be interesting to play it with enemies. I like it when we have played, I think we've done it once where we played with some level of enemies on, and
we
they
played
would kind
with
of
peaceful
attack
enemies.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we played with something where they would attack occasionally.
Oh, really?
I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we have. And like, I don't mind to like, you get the little beep and then you have to go deal with it. Like, that's okay. But like when it's like, you get the little beep and you have to deal with it, but like you're very, 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 very far away and they're just going to like chew through your base, like, and you aren't ready. Like that is rough. I think your idea of kind of, taking a save and rolling back a little bit is not a bad one. I think it would be good, especially if you have a good like auto save setup. Like if you could keep like the last 10 every 30-minute saves, like that would be good. And there's probably a good way to do that with like a server. Like if you have a server set up, you could have it just like constantly be trailing off like 50 saves.
Yeah, I think default is like every 5 minutes save the last 20 or something like that.
Wow.
Like that's default.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So maybe there's some options there. But I also like it when we were together, when you have somebody else that might be a little bit closer to your base or to a different part of your base and say, oh, yep, I got it. I'll go get it. I like that vibe as opposed to you're all by yourself and you have to go like get in your car or whatever and drive over there and stop what you're doing. And I mean, somebody has to stop what they're doing and deal with it. But like being able to not have that always be everything comes to a halt while you go deal with enemies is nice.
I agree. It's much nicer when there's two people. I think the other side of it though is like, if we go into it saying, okay, we're going to have enemies on, we have to actually build defenses that are sustainable and we can't just ignore it.
Right.
Because every time we go into this with enemies on, or every time I go into it, they're always an afterthought. It's always like, oh, whatever direction they end up attacking from, I'll go build a couple of defenses. Mm-hmm. And the way I've seen people play it with enemies on is, no, you put a wall around your base and you supply that wall and you reinforce that wall, and it has to become a central tenet of your factory.
Yeah.
So it is a very different mindset to play with enemies on. But I think, it's the way the game's intended to be played. That's the default setting. So, all right. So I answered. I gave you 4. Is there anything that you're most excited about or excited about that I didn't mention?
I am really looking forward to the quality mechanic because I think it has a lot of potential.
Oh, okay. I'm really nervous about the quality mechanic. So,
I mean, they have a mode where you can completely turn off quality. Like you can choose it like a mod and you can just say like, I don't want this run to have quality at all. If you want. I don't know why you would, because you can just not use them and that's the same kind of thing. But I guess if you didn't want it to like junk up your stuff, you could say like never roll me quality modules or whatever. But I am interested in the idea of being able to, it's like modules, right? It's like efficiency modules and speed modules and all that kind of stuff. But these are like, make a thing that is built in, like make an assembler that's max quality or whatever. And it works the same as 10 assemblers. Like it's crazy efficient in terms of like space efficiency. And I got to imagine on some of these new planets and some of the new places, like physical space is going to be at a premium. So being able to be more efficient with less space seems like a good idea.
But there's so much space in space.
Well, yeah, but on the planets,
no,
though,
I'm joking.
I don't know.
I'm nervous about it. I will say they have added one huge quality of life feature that calms me a little bit. I've finally gotten into Factorio where I'm like all about balancing and making sure you have enough to fill a belt or you know, like, you know, I started to get like really intense about it in our last run where I'm like, no, why do you have 7? You're supposed to have 12. And they did add a quality of life feature now that tells you the rate at which something is produced.
Okay.
Like in so many per minute or so many per second. I don't remember which it is, but you used to have to do that math on your own. And now because quality adds so much complexity to that, it now will calculate that for you. So you can see really quickly, okay, well, what I have here, even with the quality, you know, the extra quality assemblers, will it fully fill a belt? So yeah, I'm nervous about chasing quality things in just so much so that you not you, but like people or I, or you feel like you have to chase quality things before you can advance rather than just advancing. That's what I'm worried. I'm worried about that balance a little bit.
Oh, I think that the quality stuff will be a nice little diversion. Like I could see, because quality, the way that it works, I think, is like you have a chance. Like there's like a roll the dice. Every time you make something, there's a chance for it to be a given quality, and it's, you know, a 40% chance to be quality 2 and a 30% chance to be quality 3 and a 2% chance to be quality 5 or whatever. You know, I don't know, whatever the numbers are, but like, you know, it's probably 0.02 for all I know. But it reminds me a lot of the nuclear fuel processing stuff, you know, where it has like a super small chance to give you whatever the thing is. And that to me is interesting because you can make it a scalable kind of law of large numbers kind of a problem if you want to. And so that would be a good, like, for instance, if you and I were playing on a server, like we were playing like a shared world on a server, and we wanted to like go to new planets together, like if that's what like the rule that we set for ourselves. If I wanted to play and you weren't there or vice versa or whatever, you'd be like, okay, I'm just going to like optimize a little bit. Let me make a little quality setup here and like play with that a little bit, you know, in the meantime as kind of a side project, not as a, you know, major, we're going to space kind of thing. I like the idea that gives you a little bit of depth, you know, to some of that, to do something productive for that kind of thing.
Okay. All right. We'll wait and see on that one.
The other thing that I'm very excited about that just came out like 2 weeks ago is that new planet, Aquilo, the water planet, or it's not even water, it's ammonia, liquid ammonia, the frozen planet. Because it reminds me of the game Frostpunk, and it's like you have to manage heat to keep your factory running, which according to the blog post is like really different and difficult. So I kind of like the different dimension of challenge for that kind of factory design, because it means you can't just like expand out forever, and you can't just like, you know, you have to keep a heat pipe next to every single building, which changes all your layouts and stuff. Like I just build stuff where it fits vibe that I had that we've talked about before, I think will be well served by this map. So I'm sure you're going to hate it, but I am looking forward to it.
I'm sure I'm going to hate it. I'm nervous about that one. In a good way. That one I'm nervous about it in a good way. I think I'll just have to kind of live with the chaos on that one. But I agree with you that I like the you've always had to manage resources, you've always had to manage electricity, right? And now you're going to have to manage another like resource, essentially a full-time resource, which is heat, and delivering that to your everything,
right? Exactly.
Belts included. I mean, like, you've never had to manage anything for belts, right? They've always run without electricity. They've just gone, and now you're going to have to supply them with heat. That is a really cool added challenge, I think. And I'm like, you can't just run a belt from infinity and back, right? Like, you can't do that. The planet doesn't allow it, but also, like, you have to supply it with heat now, or else it's going to freeze and not work. That's really cool. I like that added element. See what I did there? Added element.
Oh yeah, element. Good. And then, of course, I know almost nothing about it because it was the thing that they kind of started everything off with, but like then they haven't talked about it for like 8 months. Is space platforms. Like, I'm really excited to actually see what like a mobile space platform is going to be like. Because it looks really, really cool.
I'm anticipating those being very similar to actual space exploration mod space platforms.
Yeah, but these ones move. They have like engines.
They had moving ones in space exploration. We just never got there.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm looking forward to, is a more accessible, smaller scale space exploration thing that we might actually get to all the pieces for.
Yes, I agree. I will say I have already seen speedruns of this, and I have an idea of how long a speedrun will take. Like, not a speed run, but like a full, someone knows what they're doing, complete the game. Okay. And it is achievable. It's a nice time box. So,
all right, good.
Well, so when does it actually come out?
I believe it is at 6 or 7 a.m. tomorrow as we record this.
Okay.
It's 1 p.m. Whatever Factorio time is, which is somewhere in Europe, 1 p.m. on Monday, October 21st.
Okay. So get done with work early tomorrow. Got it.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Well, I would tell you to come and find us and talk to us on Discord, but I won't respond because I'll be playing Factorio. So
yeah, we'll be busy.
If you would like to send us a message that we'll see in roughly 2 weeks when we come out of our hole, you can join our Discord, which you can get to at discord.pnapodcast.com.
If you want to find any of our older episodes or read our show notes where we have talked about Factorio several times in the past,
really,
you can visit our website. Yes, we have. Yes. And those are all on our website at pnapodcast.com. That's P, the letter N, the letter A, podcast.com.
If you're enjoying the show, we would love if you could share it with some others that might enjoy it as well.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll talk to you next time.
I have been scrolling this Next Fest like list since we talked about it.
Uh-huh.
And I'm on game like 300 or something.
Oh, wow. I saw that they're doing another Crypt of the Necrodancer type thing. Did you see that one?
Yes. What a void or something of
Rift,
the Necrodancer?
Rift of the Necrodancer.
Rift of the Necrodancer. What is that?
It looks like Guitar Hero. Like, it's like a... But like, you only have 3 like left, up, and right arrows, but like it's still a rhythm game, and it looks like Guitar Hero. It has a demo. I'm going to have to play it. There's so much to do before Factorio. This is not good.
I might download this one right now.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try it on my Steam Deck.
Sure. All right, I'm downloading that one. That one I can do. That one will be fast.
Right, you'll be able to form an opinion about that one like instantaneously. It doesn't look like it's going to work, but I could be surprised.
There's just so many games. Where's the list? I just want the full list.
But the list has to have the pictures and the videos and the everything. Like, you can't just have a list. There's a train mystery game, a point and click mystery comedy game called Locomotive.
Oh dear.
Set on a train, and it's like a whodunit point and click. Wow. Okay, that's a thing. That looks like something that could come to Humble Choice in like a year, and that would be fine. I would give it a try. That's how I feel about most of these.
Yeah. Have you seen the game Orebound?
No.
It's just a mining game. Just a mining base building game.
Okay.
That's I feel a little tacked on that one.
It's going to be a tough compare with Factorio. I don't think I would be releasing a factory mining game this close to Factorio.
Oh, it's not I don't think it's factory. I think it's just you just go around with a pickaxe and mine things.
No. It has belts.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay,
you can automate.
I'm pulling it up
yeah.
then.
Mm-hmm. It looks like Satisfactory.
Oh, it's first person. Yeah. Okay, it's like a medieval Satisfactory. All right. Well, never mind.
Yeah, it has dynamite though, so that's fun.
Do you play any 4X games or like you played Civ a little bit, right?
I have played a little bit of Civ. I do enjoy Civ. I'm kind of looking forward to Civ 7 eventually.
Did you ever play Stellaris?
I have Stellaris, but I don't think I've ever played it.
Okay. I'm always so drawn in by like the space strategy games, and Beyond Astra is on the list. So that went on my wish list.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever played Stellaris. Maybe like I played the tutorial a long time ago, but those games are always like, they're very intriguing and they're very cool sounding, but then they're very overwhelming when you actually get into them.
Yeah. I like no-lifed Stellaris one weekend, and that was enough for me. However, I am now seeing wow. Space Drilling Station. That's a clever, very clever name. But this is a base building game where you mine for resources. It's like Oxygen Not Included style, where you build a base for your people.
Oh, I like that game.
That looks cool. That's going on the wish list.
You got to stop, Jason. You got to stop.
I'm not playing these demos. I'm just waiting for them to come out. Like, I'll wait for reviews, and
I mean, okay.
I'm only playing the demo of the one.
There's just no time.
MOBA Esport Manager 24. Come on.
Oh my goodness. No way.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. Like,
I love that.
I hate that that's so off brand. Like, I actually want them to make that to be Dota 2 Esport Manager 24. Like, why bother? Ugh.
I mean, it's got the 3 lanes, it's got the people.
It like simulates a whole game. Like, it's like Red's turn to pick. Like, it simulates the entire experience. Like, just give me like TI simulator, like the International from Dota. Like, just brand it. Like, Valve, buy these people.
That's funny.
That is, I mean, it's man. I actually played. I don't know if I told you this. This is random, but like it was on Game Pass. I think I played F1 Manager 23 or 4.
Yeah. When we were talking about racing management, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about it on the show, but like that game was interesting. I can see why people like these kinds of games, but man, doing one for a MOBA is interesting. I wonder if for a game like this, I mean, never mind. No, never mind. I'm stopping. No, I'm closing the tab. No.
Symphonia? Awaken an expansive musical realm in this non-violent poetic platformer. In Symphonia, you'll use the power of your violin coupled with your platforming skills to gather an orchestra to bring the musical machinery of the world back to life. It is a precision platformer, difficulter platformer action. That's going on the wish list.
Oh, yeah, that looks cool.
See, this is why I like Next Fest. You just find a bunch of stuff and you just add it to your wish list. And when it comes out, you get a thing and you wait a couple more days for reviews and
then you take it off your wish list.
Yeah.
It's the circle of life.